Chris Carr, it's just about time to race here at the Roar on the Shore.
Yes, it is. It's great to be back to the state of Delaware for the first time in about 13 or 14 years, I believe. Raced up the road about 45 miles in Harrington at Harrington Raceway. And here we are at Delaware International Raceway. Good to be here. Glad the AMA Pro Flat Track is his return to the first state.
All right. Heat race number 1 on the poles. Our fast qualifier from Salinas, California, 30Z. That's Bronson Bauman. Our points leader will start second, 67M Davis Fisher, 24J Brandon Wilhelm, 54A Dan Bromley, 68A Revin Ryan Barnes, 99A that's Kyle McGrain. That is your front row. Row number 2 in his first pro race, the 15A Cameron Smith, 16S Tristan Avery, 20J's Ben Lau, 68C Robert Lewis, 57A Ryan Connolly, 63A Jesse Long. This is heat race number 1. They have to start in the order that I just read off. 6 riders on each row. The trophy girl puts the 10-second board up. It's already sideways. There's a Christmas tree down there on the infield. It has 1 red light, 2 yellows, and then we go green. Here we go. Heat race number 1 at the Roar on the Shore. The light is green, and they take off in a hurry from the center of the track. Bromley seems to have the old shot. Here comes Fisher up the inside. It's our points leader. Davis Fisher will lead him into the first corner. Here comes the green bike. That is Bromley. Will lead him off of turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Chris?
Yeah, it looks like Fisher got kind of held up, had a good drive, but Bromley had a little bit of a mistake. The 99A, Kyle McGrain from the outside starting position in the 3rd spot. We see Bauman go into turn 3 real high and deep and ended up going wide. This is the type of racetrack you got to get in, get it turned, and go the other way. If you miss the apex, you lose a ton of time. There's no banking to hold you in line.
The track totally different than it was in qualifying practice. They put a white line down the back straightaway. That is the puff of dust you see when they go down the back straightaway. They want to let them know where the wall is and where the racetrack ends. Bromley's out front. Here comes Fisher in second.
We saw Bromley there get the thing slowed down, turn through the apex, get a good drive. We saw Fisher a little wider, missed the apex, and lost about 5 bike lengths. So it's a key to get off the corner on the bottom. You got to be going in high, getting the thing turned, and accelerating off the bottom.
Top 7 finishers, ladies and gentlemen, go directly to the main event. If you don't finish in the top 7, you come back in 1 last chance qualifier.
Saw that lap there. Fisher held his line down and goes right back up on the rear wheel of Bromley. Let's see how much patience he has. I know he'd like to wrap this championship up. It gets a little bit wide, gets the thing turned, tries to come back down underneath.
Good race for the lead.
Get a run coming down the back straightaway, up the inside. Not quite enough room.
He's trying to stick in there.
Sticks it in
and he
there.
does. There's contact going into turn number 3. Fisher makes the move. Bromley goes back to second. You can see how important this race is. The halfway flags are out. Fisher wants to get away from everybody else and wants to win the heat race to have the first pick in the main event.
Yeah, it looked like a little nudge by the 67. Not an outright dirty move or anything like that, but said, hey, I'm here. Pay attention, and just enough to move him a little bit over.
Fisher back out front. Dan Bromley in second. Kyle McGrain, the tall drink of water, back there in third. And Ryan Barnes in fourth. Bronson Bauman's worked his way back up to 5th place, ladies and gentlemen. Keep your eyes on the 30Z. He was way at the back of the pack coming off of turn number 4 on lap 1.
Well, he was our fast qualifier. He's working his way back up through the field. The lap times are very similar to what they turned in qualifying, so the track hasn't really lost any speed for these guys, but it has given a few more options through turns 1 and 2. Fisher pinned right down around on the bottom. You see the grooves starting to creep through the rubber start to creep back up through the moisture pretty quickly as Fisher starts to set sail here, running fast laps every lap, getting faster at 23.8, his fastest lap of the day.
He's getting more and more comfortable back out front. Here's the replay for the lead as Fisher ducks it up the inside and he shows the wheel on Bromley. They make slight contact right there. He showed a wheel. Looked like they barely touched in turn number 3. Here's the white flag out for Fisher off of turn number 4. Davis Fisher, Dan Bromley 1 and 2. Looks like they have secured themselves a spot. McGrain is right there, and right behind him is Varnes. Your top 4 already across the line in a hurry.
Yeah, as we see our fast qualifier, Bauman dropped all the way back down to 10th that lap. Not sure what happened with him, but Fisher into 3.
Final corner, here comes your leader, feet on the pegs, in a hurry. Second generation racer is going to win this heat race at the Roar on the Shore. It's Fisher, your winner. Here comes Bromley, a solid second place. Third, McGrain. Fourth is Varnes. Here's Tristan Avery back in 5th, and then it's a dogfight for the rest of the few positions. As remember, we take 7 of them, and there's Bronson coming across the finish line. He's taking a look down, possibly knocked the carburetor off, but he pulled the front wheel somehow, so maybe stuck it back in there on that Harley.
It looked like he was looking down and grabbing onto tapping onto his rear brake pedal, so it might have had a brake pedal issue there.
Top 8 spots are all Kawasaki's, with the top 7 all moving on. Davis Fisher, your winner. He'll go to the victory podium. Dan Bromley finishes second. Kyle McGrain third. 68A Ryan Barnes fourth. Tristan Avery fifth. Robert Lewis, the old man of the bunch, finishes sixth. And Brandon Wilhelm, the Daytona short track winner, will get your last transfer spot there in seventh. Cameron Smith, Ben Lau, Bronson Bauman. We'll see those folks in a last chance qualifier. We're going to go to the victory podium here in just a second to catch up with Danny Medine, and she will be up there with our heat race winner. He's trying to get on there right by the Trophy Girls. The Trophy Girls here from Harley-Davidson Motor Company and Vance Hines.
Great race by Davis Fisher.
Let's go trackside with Danny Medine and Davis Fisher. Danny, take it away.
Out there with Dan Bromley. Take us through what happened.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect him to go in there like that and just try to stop it, but it got into a little bit, but I don't think it was too bad. But we shook hands after the race, so I think we're good.
Now he's in second in the points. You're pretty much got it wrapped up right now, that #1 place in your future. How exciting is that?
We'll see. I mean, anything can happen in the main, as we saw in earlier in the season where we had some bad luck. But hopefully we go forward with this and put it on top of the box in the main.
Some good luck to you, Scotty and Chris. Back to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Danny. Up next, heat race number 2, same class, GNC2, top 7 to the main event. 94B, Ryan Wells. 27U, second in the points is Jamison Miner. 23F, Jeffrey Lowry. 24F, J.R. Addison. The 11Z from Salinas, California, Andrew Luker. And last rider on the front row is the Flying Tomato, 36B, Colby Carlisle. Second row, 17A, Jordan Harris. 22A, Mitch Harvitt. 29A, Colin Cunningham. 44A, Jerry Alexander. 57J, Justin Thomas. As we get ready for heat race number 2, they're staging them up. 6 bikes on each row. That's how we'll get them staged up and turn loose. So far, the Kawasaki won the first heat race. Will we see a Harley win this one?
Well, it's certainly possible. You know, we got Luker there on the front row with the best chance. But, you know, this is a very important heat race for the 27U, Jamison Miner. He's second in points currently. He's the next rider that has the closest opportunity to extend the championship chase one more week. And he's going to want to get off to a good start and get a win here in heat race number 2.
Here we go. The RPMs pick up. We're getting ready to take off heat race number 2. Light turns green, and they are gone in a hurry. From the outside, it's Carlisle. From the inside, it's Wells. 2 New York riders into the first corner first. Wells and Carlisle. 94B is Ryan Wells. The red bike is Colby Carlisle. We'll take him off at 2. Down the back straightaway. Heat race number 2. Look at all of them.
Yeah, Jamison Miner there in third place.
Miner's back there in the third spot. He's second in the points. One rider just way right. I believe that's Cunningham. Cunningham's rode about 5 races this season. Here comes Miner at the inside looking for second place. He knows the better he finishes, the better starting spot he'll have in the GNC2 main event.
Well, he's certainly going to want to get in the top 3, at least that. He's moved into second now. Let's see if he can do something to run down the 94B out front, Ryan Wells. This would be good for his psyche, being able to run down a guy that finished a little bit better than him in qualifying, and it'll set a good tone for his main event and keep a good eye on his championship hopes.
Flying Ryan Wells out front, the 94B on the Kawasaki pulling away. Jamison Miner settled into second. Colby Carlisle's in third. Behind him is Jeffrey Lowry, J.R. Addison, Andrew Luker, and Colin Cunningham right now is in a transfer spot on the 29A Pennsylvania rider with the letter A. Keep your eyes on those folks as they're close to home. Here's the battle for 4th place, Chris.
Yeah, Jeff Lowry there holding off the advances of J.R. Addison and Andrew Luker, the only Harley in this heat race. We'll see if that develops any further as Jamison Miner appears to be inching away at our leader, Ryan Wells. Not heads or tails faster, but just kind of clicking them off, maybe getting a half a bike link here and a half a bike link there as the halfway flags are out.
Chris, it's easier when there's somebody in front of you to chase. It's harder to lead a race, in my opinion. Have you felt that before? You've won
certainly.
Several
It's
races.
much easier to gauge your speed of how you need to ride when you have somebody in front of you. But looking at the lap times, these guys are about 0.2 of a second slower than our first heat race winner, Davis Fisher. They've got some work to do if they're going to be able to extend their chances at a championship.
There's no way the track's slowing down right now. It's just Davis is that much quicker right now at the moment.
Yeah, the track appears to be pretty consistent. Turns 1 and 2 appear to be a lot better than they were in practice and qualifying. As Minor inches away a little bit more, takes about a tenth of a second, gets him up a little closer. We'll see with 2 laps to go here if he's got anything for our leader.
It's flying Ryan Wells out front, 94B. Jamison Minor, 27U. Carlisle still sitting all by himself in the 3rd spot. A bunch of Kawasaki's. Only one Harley in this one. The Harley right now puts himself in a transfer spot pretty solidly. On the 11C is in 6th, Andrew Luker.
And the 29A, Colin Cunningham, looks to be in a comfortable spot here as we get ready to receive the white flag. Could make his first GNC2 Twins main event.
All right, so they're going around the corners now. White flag is out. The leaders already took it. Here comes the battle for 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. It's Ryan Wells, though, battling with Minor for the lead. 3rd spot is Carlisle. Last lap, heat race number 2. Up next will be the GNC1 class. Down the back straight into 3, it's still Wells. Jamison Minor takes a look, hits one little bump going into 3. Haven't seen that develop until just about now. Here they come off of turn number 4 to the checkered flag. Ryan Wells will take a heat race win. Jamison Minor, 2nd in the points, finishes 2nd in this heat race. That will give him a good starting spot, probably the 4th pick in our main event.
Unfortunate. 24F, Addison comes off turn 4, comes up a little bit lame. That's going to allow Mitch Harvat to sneak into the last transfer position from this heat race. Tough break for J.R. Addison. He limps across the line in 10th, 3 spots out.
Here are your finishers. Ryan Wells takes the first win in heat race number 2. Jamison Minor will get 2nd. Colby Carlisle 3rd. Jeffrey Lowry 4th. Andrew Luker on the Harley is back there in 5th. Colin Cunningham 6th. And Mitch Harvitt gets that 7th and final transfer spot. Jordan Harris, Jerry Alexander, J.R. Addison, and Justin Thomas. Those folks will be headed to the last chance qualifier. There's only one in this GNC2 class. And now let's go trackside with Danny Medine and our heat race winner. Danny?
All right, thanks, Scotty. Ryan Wells with a clean race from start to finish. Ryan, how important are the starts out here at Delaware?
Hold on.
Looks like we had a bike tipped over a little bit up there on the stands as we wait for Danny Medine to assist Ryan Wells in lifting that one up.
One more time. Ryan Wells, take us through the start and how important it is out here at the Delaware Half Mile.
Yeah, I going into the heat races, I knew I wanted to pick inside because of the first turn being so tight, but after seeing Bronson get a not-so-good start, I was a little nervous, but turns out I started in a different gear than I normally would, and I got a good hole shot, and then I just put in as many clean, smooth laps as I could, and I'm super pumped that M&J Racing got this bike back together for me. We blew up in Calistoga, so it's the first time back on it. It feels faster than ever, so be looking for me in the main event.
All right, good luck to you. Scotty and Chris, back to you guys.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, to the GNC1 class, the premier class of AMA Pro Flat Track. It is the Harley-Davidson GNC1 presented by Vance and Hines. And this is heat race number 1. Jake Johnson is number 5. He'll be on the pole on the factory Harley. Number 2, Kenny Coolbeth. Number 1, Jared Meese. 42, Brian Smith. 16, Wyatt McGuire. 44, Brandon Robinson. That is your front row. Row number 2, the 82, Jeremy Higgins. 27, Robbie Pearson. 96, Cody Johncox. 14 B's, Brian Hazel. 55, Jake Shoemaker. And number 12, Jay Maloney. That is your second row. And all the way back there on row number 3 by himself from Galion, Ohio is the 69F, Ben Evans. Well, points chase is coming down to the final 3 rounds. There's 1 point between first and second in the points, and they are side by side in heat race number 1.
Side by side, and they're not the 2 fastest guys lined up in this heat race, so it's going to be very interesting to see if these guys have made the proper changes to their motorcycle from where we had in qualifying, see if Brian Smith can improve on where he was earlier. There might be a good opportunity for one of these guys to get a front row start and the other one goes to the second row. So
or possibly not even qualify. Yeah. And check this out, the pole setter, Jake Johnson, the number 5, has picked the outside of the front row. You can pick either inside or outside in our heat races and semis.
Yeah, and it looks like he and Coolbeth both have their bikes angled to the outside. They want to get out, get themselves a good run so they can carry momentum through turns 1 and 2. We'll see if that pays dividends as Mees in the middle gets the start that he needs. We'll see if Johnson can roll it around the outside.
Meese grabs the whole shot on the number 1 bike right there in second. Here comes Coolbeth up the inside trying to take second away. Down the back straight where they go. Coolbeth slides into second. Here comes Brian Smith in third. And the number 5 now, Jake Johnson, charges in deep. He's in third. Smith back there in fourth.
Great start by the defending champion, Jared Mees, out front with Coolbeth hot on his tail. Smith moves up into the 3rd spot, relegating the number 5 pole sitter back to 4th.
And this is a little bit different than the last 2 heat races. We take the top 2 to the Dash for Cash, and the top 4 go directly to the main event. Johnson goes up the inside. Johnson goes into the 3rd spot. Now Coolbeth goes deep. He goes off the cushion. Here they come off for tournament 4. Let's listen to him one time by. All 13 bikes across the start-finish line. It's still Meese out front. Coolbeth made a mistake down there in 3 and 4 last time by, so now Meese has a little bit of breathing room, but not too much. Coolbeth recovered quickly.
Yes, he did. Coolbeth got into turn 3 a little hot the previous lap. He settled back in a little bit. He's having a hard time through the middle of the corner. The track isn't fully developed there. Jared Meese doing a good job up front. Meese has been the most consistent so far, had a real good lap, getting faster every lap. Both riders, both he and Coolbeth, 23.6s the last time by.
How important is for Smith to get up there and get into the Dash for Cash? You get 1 more bonus point for winning the Dash. If Smith's not there, he might lose that point.
Well, there's a couple things going here. Not only does Jared Mees in a position to be in the Dash and go for a point, but Brian Smith will have to start from the 2nd row in the final, and he doesn't get another look at the racetrack later on. This is very pivotal right here for the number 1 to maintain 1st or 2nd, and Smith's going to have to figure something out here, or he can see a big dent in his championship hopes.
So we got the 1 out front. Meese. Coolbeth has tracked him down. Ladies and gentlemen, 2 takes a look up the inside. Halfway flags are in there. Heat race number 1. Look at Coolbeth on the charge.
Coolbeth getting a really good drive off turn 4. Guy has the bit between the teeth. He just ran a couple of fastest laps of the day for himself. Coolbeth says, hey, get out of my way, number 1. I want to go forward.
He does. I think right now when Coolbeth caught up to him, Meese was actually slowing him down just a little bit. Coolbeth reached up, grabbed a tear-off off of turn number 2. He has a clear vision of the leader, and he's right in front of him. And here comes Johnson's coming with him.
Yeah, Johnson has a good chance to take advantage of that last lap by. Jared Mees runs his fastest lap, so he's picked up the pace. 23.49. These guys are going faster than they did in qualifying.
Do you think something's wrong with Brian Smith's bike, the 42?
I really don't think anything's wrong with his bike. I think this type of track right now is suiting Jared Mees, Kenny Coolbeth, and Jake Johnson, and it may be suiting the XR750. This track doesn't have a lot of downforce. His bikes accelerate really hard, and if there's not a whole lot of grip, it takes away that acceleration advantage.
He might have a little bit of wheel spin. You think it's a little bit slicker? Let's go back out front, though. It's Meese out front, but is the track slick right now, Chris?
The track appears to be slick and inconsistent. When you have a bike like the XR750, they tend to work better on inconsistent surfaces. Brian Smith is going to depend on banking and a lot of traction to take full advantage of the acceleration of his Kawasaki. That's not paying dividends on this racetrack right now.
A lap and a half left. It's our points leader out front, defending champion. Coolbeth tries the high line again. He's tired of following. He wants to look for a way around. That might have cost him a little bit as the white flag flies. It's Meese. Coolbeth in 2nd. Now we'll see if Johnson can sneak his way into the Dash for Cash. He must finish in the top 2 spots. I don't think Johnson quite has the distance.
Right, big advantage here for Jared Mees on the championship. Brian Smith is going to go to the 2nd row. He's going to lose track position. Jared Mees is going to have a chance to go out and earn a point where Brian Smith has to sit and watch.
Here they come to the checkered flag. Meese takes a look over his shoulder, and Meese will take the win and move to the Dash for Cash. Coolbeth 2nd, Johnson 3rd, and our 2nd in the points also goes to the main event, the 42 of Brian Smith. The rest of the riders taking the checkered flag. Look how far back some of these riders were as the leaders were picking them up and putting them down. Jared Meese takes the win, number 1. Kenny Coolbeth 2nd. Those 2 go to the Dash. Johnson and Smith find themselves going to the main event. Like Chris said, they'll be on the 2nd row of the main event. Those your top 4 are the transfers. 5th place, Brandon Robinson. 6th is Jake Shoemaker. 7th is Wyatt McGuire. 8th is Jeremy Higgins. Cody Johncox 9th. Jay Maloney rounds out your top 10. From there on back, it's Brian Hazel, Ben Evans, and Robbie Pearson shows 5 laps down on the KTM. So Robbie must have had a problem out there.
Robbie was actually riding his Harley-Davidson today, so tough break for him.
I can't hear you very well anymore, but we're going to go trackside with Danny Medine. Hopefully the bike stays upright this time. Danny, take it away.
All right, thanks, you guys. Delaware, make some noise for Jared Meese. Jared, how important is it tonight to be focusing on strategy to take the win here at the Delaware Half Mile?
First off, that was a big heat race to win. There were some big players in that, Jake, Kenny Coolbeth, and especially Brian Smith, the guy I'm dealing with. And, we got off to a good start, and, man, I felt somebody breathing down my neck, but I just couldn't make a mistake, and we made a last-ditch effort call, Sammy Sweet and I, and you know, the motorcycle's really good. We just got to get some good starts like that, and you know, make it happen. That was intense.
All right, good luck to you in the main event. Scotty and Chris, back to you guys.
All right, that was heat race number 1 for the GNC class. Up next, heat race number 2 on the pole, the rookie 66Y Dominic Calendres. Dominic Calendres will be on the pole. 49, Chad Coast, the California kid, will start second. 23, Jeffrey Carver will be starting third, and he is on the Don's Kawasaki. Starting fourth, 80, Stevie Bonzi. 30S, Jason Eisnock will be fifth. 29, Jake Mattia. On row number 2, 83S, Mike Poe from Timonium, Maryland. 93, Danny Kelch. 53, Don Taylor. 35S, Dalton Winkler. 89, Evan Bear. And the 28P, Michael Bickerton. That is row number 2. On the third row by himself is Jerry Steele on an Aprilia 550. So this is the second heat race, GNC1, presented by Vance Hines. Just like the last one, Chris, top 2 to the dash, top 4 go directly to the main event.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch. The rookie, Dominic Calendres, qualified really well. The track has changed a little bit. It's going to be fun to watch, and he appears to be pretty competitive. We might see Yamaha's first heat race win right here.
A Yamaha twin, the first one in a long time.
It's certainly a long time.
Babe DeMay tunes the bike, builds the bike, and it's proven to be main event worthy. He's made some main events. He also finished third on the 450 on the Yamaha, and so Dominic, an up-and-coming rider from the Lodi short track.
Yeah, he grew up in Northern California, my old neck of the woods. He's a very accomplished 450 rider in his young career, and really riding framers, so to speak, for the first time this year. We'll see if he can carry on. He's adapted to it well.
And keep your eyes on the 49, Chad Coast. He qualified very well. Also felt really comfortable all day. The Don's Kawasaki right in the middle of the front row. 23, Jeffrey Carver. Light turns green, and they are off. Calendres from the inside. Now Carver, but from the outside, Jake Mattia, number 29 from Blaine, Minnesota. He's going to lead him through 1 and 2. Off of turn number 2. And he actually found himself on the ground in practice earlier. From the ground to the front, down the back chute, Jake Mattia, the 29 bike out front.
Yeah, Jeffrey Carver on the Don's Kawasaki in second as the leader goes a little wide through the middle of 3 and 4. You cannot make that mistake. But Carver rides for Don's Kawasaki. We had a rider
that like Danny Kelch, number 93, the yellow leathers, slid off the groove off of turn number 4. They're going to keep racing until we see red, ladies and gentlemen. So down for turn number 2, down the backside. It's the 23 as the red flag does come out. And I saw yellow leathers. That is Danny Kelch, and he's one of the old men of the bunch in this class. It's national number 93. Danny Kelch goes down. I saw the tail end of it as they came across the start-finish line, looking deep in the pack. I love those bright yellow leathers. They're easy to see out there.
Yeah, it was easy to pick him out at first. I thought that might have been Evan Bear, who's got some yellow in his leathers as well. But hopefully Danny looks like he's up. He's on his feet. He's limping a little bit. And hopefully he'll won't have suffered too much damage to not only the motorcycle, but obviously himself.
We're gonna take a look at the replay for you folks watching on fanschoice.tv. We can see Carver in the lead, but watch the back of the pack. Here they come, and Kelch is already off of the groove and going down. He looks like he gets stopped right before he hits the wall, just barely stops before he gets to the wall. So not sure, must have been some contact.
I'm not sure. I couldn't quite tell if there was contact there or if he just spun the thing around backwards and it came around so quick. He didn't know what happened, but unfortunate incident for him. Hopefully he'll have a backup or get that one there.
He is up and okay, ladies and gentlemen. Let's put our hands together for 93, Danny Kelch. He's up and appears to be okay. If he can get himself back out there, he might go back to a backup motorcycle, but he should be back out here.
Well, it's a tough deal. We never like to see anybody go down, and we'll do a little investigation and see maybe if we can find out how that happened a little later on. But they're wheeling his motorcycle off the racetrack. That must mean that they have something that they can bring out to replace it, and they're probably in the process of getting his backup bike. He does get a couple of minutes in order to get this accomplished.
Well, it looks like he's trying to catch his breath a little bit. That's Danny Kelch, you know, and we both raced against him. A nice man, and I'd say man because he's not a kid anymore.
No, he's certainly in his 40s. Doing this because he loves racing Grand National Flat Track Racing. As we catch another little glimpse here in the back, we get another view here for Fans Choice at home. It looks like it's hard to say. It looked like he just kind of went down on his own there.
kind of maybe the back end came around on him, and he went because he's sliding the wrong direction going into the wall. But a tough break for the 29. Actually, he slipped wide. It might be a good break for him as he slipped wide over there in turns 3 and 4. I believe Danny's caught up with the California kid. I don't know if Danny's ready or not. Danny, can you hear me?
We have the number 49 at Chad Coast down here. Chad, can you talk a little bit quickly about track conditions right now?
Yeah, you know, it's a one line, a little slick, and it's just going to be about getting a good start and staying consistent. And, yeah, I'm ready to try to put this thing up front.
All right, good luck to you.
So the California kid says he's trying to put the thing up front. That's the 49. Looks like Danny, 93 of Danny Kelch is walking back to the pit area, so it looks like his heat race is done. He will have another opportunity to come back through a semifinal, but nobody wants to do that.
No, you certainly, if you can secure yourself a spot in the top 4 in the heat race, it certainly makes the rest of the evening go well. However, if you're one of those guys that's really, really struggling and don't know what to do, you certainly want to sometimes go into a semi pays dividends.
And I was informed earlier that Robbie Pearson went down in turn number 3 all by himself, got himself out of the way, so we kept racing. Don't forget, race fans, hit us up on Twitter. Tweet to win a Core-Tech gift card for a tank bag valued up to $180. Use the hashtag DelawareFT for Flat Track. Chris Carr and myself, we will pick the winner a little bit later on, so hit us up. Always use @AMA Pro Flat Track and use the hashtag DelawareFT. We've had some good ones earlier during practice qualifying.
Yes, we did. They were actually pretty entertaining and looked like a few people put some thought into it, so that's great to see.
We're picking a winner. No pictures are allowed in this competition because we want to put everybody's tweet up here on the screen at fanschoice.tv so everybody can get a shout-out right here on fanschoice.tv. We'll take another look at the replay come up from a different camera view here coming off of turn number 4. As Kelch just goes sliding by. So, again, we didn't see exactly what happened to make him go down, but the red flag did come out, so we're going to restart him. Kelch does make the start. He's back there at the tail of the field. He'll have to start all the way back there on row number 4 by himself. There is the 29. Jake Mattia had the whole shot the first time, and he started right there by the groove, just like Jake Johnson did in the last one.
He certainly did, and he did what Jake Johnson wanted to do,
right,
and that was get to turn 1 first. So see if he can repeat that and see if that becomes a trend. We might see guys that have choices. We've seen a whole shot mostly from the middle. See if we saw Carver do that and Jared Mees the last 2 times.
The 80, Stevie Bonzi. He's not on the front row. He's back there on row number 4 also. He may have switched motorcycles. Mattia grabs the whole shot once again. This time, Calindra is right there in the 2 spot on the Yamaha. So it's the 29. It is Deja Vu. Let's see if he can keep it on the groove down there in 3 and 4. Jake Mattia out front, number 29. Dominic Calindra, 66Y in second. Into turn number 3, they go their nose to tail.
Yeah, these guys are going to want to get a feel for the track. The guy's doing a good job that lap by, keeping the bike down. Let's see if Calendra's getting a good drive off at turn 4, running a little defensive down on the inside, make sure people have to go around him. Let's see if Dominic can show some of the speed that he did earlier in the day.
So Jake Mattia out front. This is a Grand National. How much pressure do you think is on the number 29 right now, leading a Grand National in Delaware?
Well, I think if it were the other way around and we had Calendars leading the heat race, it'd be a little bit different. Jake's been around a while. This isn't his first rodeo. He's made main events before. Hasn't led a whole lot of heat races, I'll grant you that. But we see the 30S of Jason Eisenach from nearby Maryland, also in the 3rd spot in a direct transfer with Carver, who was had the whole shot before, sitting back and forth.
So your leader, the 29, Jake Mattias. 2nd, Calindras. 3rd, it's a freight train right now. 3rd is Eisenach. Eisenach on the 30S. Behind him is the 23, Jeffrey Carver. That's your top 4. And looks like Carver's made the pass into the 3rd spot. He sets his sights now on the 66Y of Calindras.
And Calindras looked like he had a little idea of maybe going up the inside of our leader, Jake Mattia. Ran out a little bit of time, but it looks like Calendar's getting good drives, and here we got Carver right on his rear. So any mistake at the front could be costly. Mattia goes a little bit wide. Let's see if Calendar's can get a run on him going down the front.
Down the front.
He does.
Down the front straightaway into turn 1, Calendaris, your new leader, 66Y on the FJ07 or FZ07 Yamaha. It's Calendar's out front. Now the 29, he pulls the front wheel. He gets a little crazy over there for turn number 2. Here comes Jeffrey Carver. The Don's Kawasaki moves into 2nd.
We'll see if now Carver, who's been kind of moving forward, see if he'll have anything for the 66 as we reach a halfway point. But Dominic Calendris out front, feeling kind of comfortable, flicking it off into turn 1, gets through the middle of the corner real good, lines it up in the middle of the groove, coming off, gets a good drive. Kid's looking pretty good.
Carver is right there, ready to pounce on the 23. Matthias settles in there to the 3rd spot. That'll put him in the main. Eisenach in the 4th spot. If he finishes in that spot, he'll have a national number next year. Here they come down the front straightaway. It is Calendres, followed by Carver, Matthias, Eisenach, and don't count out Chad Coase yet. Coase on the prowl on the 49 bike. He is now in the 4 spot. That one rider slips wide. Matthias slips back to 5th.
Yeah, Matthias, our early leader, making little mistake after little mistake, is now Chad Coase is up on the rear wheel of Eisenach in the battle for 3rd.
Looked like the 29 nope, it was another bike just went wide over there. Here comes Don Taylor starting to show some prowl on the 53 KTM, working his way up towards the front. The Waters Auto Body KTM team making a run at it. Chad Coase looking up the inside of Eisenach back here for the 3rd spot. It's Calendres, Carver, Eisenach, and here comes the California kid, Chad Coase, trying to come up to the front. It looked like something was underneath the 30S kind of dragging. Chris, did you see that?
I did not see that at all, but keep an eye out for that, see if anything's hanging on. Yeah, we have
something.
Looks like I'm not sure what that is. Maybe a pipe spring is very possible that it could be dangling there. Come loose from the midsection.
Doesn't seem to be bothering the 30S. Back out front, it's Calendres, Carver, 1 and 2. Eisenach hanging on to that 3rd spot. Chad Coase right there. Top 4 will go directly to the main event. Chris?
Yeah, we see this track has started with the white flag coming out. Has developed somewhat of a one-line groove.
It looked like Chad showed a wheel up there trying to take over that 3rd spot. The better you finish, the better pick you'll have in the line. White flag is out, down the back straightaway for the final time. The Calendres, I think he has to kiss Danny if he wins this one, or Danny has to kiss him. I can't remember how that worked out, but we made a deal as something is dragging from the 30S of Eisenach. Here off of turn number 4, checkered flags in the air from Rick Tibbetts, our flagman. It's Calendres, Carver, Chad Coase, and Eisenach, your top 4. A tough break for Jake Matthias, our early leader, finishes in the 5th spot. 6th is Don Taylor. 7th is Dalton Winkler, Mike Poe, Evan Bear, Danny Kelch. Yeah, one bike's walking over there up to number 4. Here comes a replay of Matthias when he slips a little bit wide. Here comes Calendres up the inside to take the lead. That was one good look at our replay coming off of turn number 4.
Good pass set that up. Little mistake in the middle of turns 3 and 4. But here we are. We see the 29 hooks up, goes wide, gets up off the groove, up into the dust, and allows Carver to move into the 2nd position. So little mistake after little mistake by our early leader there, the 29 of Jake Matthias. Tough break for him. He's going to have to do it all over again in the semi.
Tough break, but the winner is up there. I don't know if Danny remembers our little bet or not. I don't know if she can hear me or not, but she's going to have to kiss Dominic. I think she can hear me now. So let's go trackside with Danny Medine, caught up with our heat race winner. Danny?
All right, thanks, you guys. Dominic Calendres, what a great race out there. You look extremely fast in qualifying. What are you looking forward to come the main event?
I really got to get a good start here. This bike gets good starts, and this track, it's working really good for this new bike. It's awesome to get this new Yamaha FC07 up here, and hopefully do pretty good in the main, get a good start, and try not to make many mistakes.
You have a great team behind you. Who would you like to thank?
Yeah, I just really need to thank Tim Humphreys, Babe DeMay, my mom and dad, Saddleman, Yamaha, K&N, Works Connection, Comp Cam, Wiseco Pistons, Yamalube, GYTR, Motion Pro, Cometic Gaskets, everyone who helped me get this far.
All right, good luck to you come the main event. You're going on to the Dash for Cash. Back to you guys in the booth.
Danny, you're supposed to kiss him. Remember when we made that bet? Here we go. Heat race number 3. Harley-Davidson GNC1 presented by Vance Hines. On the pole is the racing lady, ladies and gentlemen. She won her heat race at Springfield. She's on the pole. This one, 15, Nicole Meese. 69, Slammin' Sammy Halbert. 65, C-Tex, Corey Texter, our Rookie of the Year. 17F, Jared Vandekoy. He can wrap that up tonight. 14, Briar Bauman. 91, scheduled to be out there is Mikey Martin. He is a scratch for the rest of the night. Row number 2, the 17, Henry Wiles. 58, Adam Carpinello. 52, Shayna Texter. 20T, Mikey LaBelle. 32, Sean Bear. And rounding out your field, the national number 41, that is Brad Hazel. Just like the first 2 heat races, top 2 to the Dash for Cash, top 4 going directly to the main event. This time, the pole setter takes the inside, so keep your eyes on 15, Nicole Meese, as the bikes are in gear. Here we go at the final heat race of the night, GNC1 class. Light is green from the middle. It's Corey Texter grabbing the hole shot, the 65. Look at Breyer grabbing the front wheel up in the air. Here comes Vandekoy for second. Nicole slides into the 3rd spot. It's Corey Texter, Vandekoy, and
Sammy Halbert in 3rd.
Halbert up to the third spot, down the back straightaway. Watch out, Wiles getting a little sideways over
Little
there.
ride-em cowboy there for Henry Wiles coming off of turn 2 as Vanderkoy goes a little wide, opens the door for the 69 to come underneath off of turn 4. This is in a very important heat race for the 69. He needs to get up, get in the dash. He needs to renew his hopes for winning the Grand National Championship. He needs to go toe-for-toe with Jared Mees and Brian Smith in order to have a shot at the championship.
The track appears to be getting a little bit rougher as we get more laps on. It's Corey Texter out front. Second is Slamming Sammy Halbert. Behind him is the 17F and the 17, Vanderkoy and Wiles, respectively.
Yeah, Corey Texter doing a great job on the Kawasaki up front. This is a new motorcycle for him, third race. Just recently built. This is the kind of racetrack where we're good, but looked like Wiles had a good run off of turn 2. Doesn't quite get the continued forward momentum to make the pass.
It's Corey Texter out front. Sammy Halbert right there in the 2 spot. Kawasaki followed by the Harley. Behind him is the Don Kawasaki, the 17F Vanderkoy. Wiles looks like he has his handful on the 17 bike.
He certainly does. Looks like he's riding really aggressive in order to stay up front there, but up front. Whoa. They've got a little bump coming off of turn 2. A lot of these guys are hitting it with their rear wheel, kind of upsets the chassis.
Here comes the 14, Briar Bauman showing a wheel up the inside, back there in 4th, and here comes Bauman to the 4th spot. He puts Wiles back in there into a 5th place position right now. That's 1 spot out of a transfer.
1 spot out of the well, actually, now Wiles sitting on the outside looking in. Up front, Corey Texter doing what he needs to do.
Let's take a look at the replay from the lap before as Corey Texter got a little bit sideways, hits the bump right there, breaks. Actually, his tire broke loose, and then Sammy hits the bump right there. Okay.
And we're seeing Henry Wiles do the same thing halfway around the top 5, nose to tail, headed off into turn 1. Corey Texter holds his position. Sammy Halbert looking for any way by. Guy's struggling badly coming off. 3 out of the top 5 guys hit that same hole coming off of turn 2. Yep. Be interesting to see how this develops the rest of the night.
Watching the battle for 4th is Briar Bauman on the 14. Henry Wiles on the 17 has his brake rotor glowing red. Looks like a la Kenny Coolbeth. He still has his hands full with that motorcycle. Something may not be tightened up on that thing, but Corey Texter laid down the fastest lap the previous lap before that, the 2:3.896, a little bit off the pace of the other 2 heat races.
Yeah.
Ooh, here comes Sammy.
Sammy up the inside, trying to make a move, waiting for a big enough mistake for a hole to open to put the 69 up in front of Corey Texter out front. It's really neat to talk about Corey on this track. His grandfather, Fitzcharles, raced sprint cars around this track for many years, through the years. Here, the grandson is 2015 leading the heat race in an AMA Pro Flat Track race.
Yeah, that's right. And his grandfather raced here in the sprint cars. That's got to be cool. And he's here to watch. He's got a lot of family here. Last time he was on the podium was actually at Charlotte when he won his semi, and he said he was stoked. Remember, he actually had a hat made that said stoked, so somebody took care of him for that. Corey Texter out front, the 65, and the 69 looking for a way around, hits that same bump, and that might have held him up a little bit this time. They're just about done with heat race number 3. Corey Texter out front, the 69 in second. That is Sammy Halbert. Top 2 to the dash, top 4 to the main. White flag is in the air. 1 more lap to go.
1 lap to go. Corey Texter just needs to hold on. Needs to do the same thing he did the last 9 laps. 1 more time. Doing a great job up front as you start to see riders move up a little bit to go around that bump off of turn 2. But here he is into 3. There's our leader.
Corey flicks it into turn number 3, as Chris Carr likes to say, nice and smooth. Here he comes off of 4. Red flag's in the air. Should have been a checker. They're going to run him to the line, though. The red flag is out. You don't see anything from our point of view. Looks like they're pointing towards turn number 2 as Corey Texter takes the victory on the 32, the 65 bikes. I saw the 32 coming across the start-finish line. Texter goes across. Sammy Halbert also goes across back there in the 2nd position as we're waiting to see exactly what happened. Turn number 2. Oh, it's Nicole's bike. The tail section off of the motorcycle, and Nicole Meese is down the 15 bike, and they're getting her checked out right now. Looks like Steve Moorhead is already over there.
She's moving around a little bit.
She's right up against that wall, so she possibly hit that bump coming off for turn number 2. Looks like the whole rear end of the motorcycle came off, the whole tail section, the rear fender section, and everything like that. So they're going to call that a heat race, and Corey Texter will go to the victory podium, and we'll get to talk to him. Another story, the 14 of Briar Bauman, the transporter lost the two outside wheels. The dually wheels came off of the motorcycle, off the transporter on the way here yesterday. They had to get a U-Haul rental truck. That truck had a flat tire on the way here, And I believe we're going to take a look at the replay here just a second as Corey Texter is making his way up to the victory podium. Looks like Texter is there, so we'll probably catch up with Texter first, then we'll take a look at the replay. Man, wild and crazy here in the heat race action. Corey Texter, again, taking it away. Danny, take it away.
All right, thanks, Scotty. Corey Texter taking the Heat 3 win of the GNC1 class. You guys make some noise. Corey, first off, that has to give you some much-needed confidence. How are you feeling right now?
I feel really good. It's tough to lead. I've never led a heat race like that before, but no, it was good. I heard him breathing down my neck. Just tried to be smooth, consistent, and this bike's coming along great. I feel like we can be really competitive in the dash and the main event, so I'm stoked to get it going.
Is there a ticket? Is there a strategy? What are you guys thinking out here and trying to battle this track?
I know the whole shot was important, and I've been pulling really good starts on this Black Hammer, so it's going well. I can't thank my sponsors enough. My wife Amber, my crew chief Derek, my whole family's here. This is a local race for me. It's only 2.5 hours from my house, and it'd be nice to get my first podium here tonight.
All right, well, good luck to you. Scotty and Chris, back to you guys in the booth.
Thanks a lot, Danny. Nicole Meese has got up. She's actually in that Kawasaki vehicle that's getting a ride back to the pit area. I believe that's a Kymco UTVs. We're going to take a look at the replay here. They come off of turn number 2 as we're watching the solid camera over there in turn 2. Nicole is back there just a little way. She was running.
Oh, wow. Hits that same hole and goes into a full-on tank slapper.
Wow.
Yeah, that
it's
one
good
there
to see her get up for
ripped
sure.
the handlebars out of her hands for the most part. That was a tough tumble there, the beginning of it. We didn't see the end result, but we see a crumpled up motorcycle and I'm sure a pretty bruised up young lady.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is time for our first scheduled intermission. All of our heat races are done for the night. Coming up next, there will be a 10-minute intermission, and then we'll have our AMA GNC2 last chance qualifier, followed by one of the most exciting races, our Dash for Cash, followed by 2 GNC1 semis, our second scheduled intermission, and then 2 main events. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to stretch your legs, get something to eat, get something to drink. We'll be right back. It's time for intermission here at the Roar on the Shore.
Thanks, Scotty. Not only was it super hot at the Springfield Mile, but the action heated up pretty quick, and it started out early in the day for the GNC2 Heat 2 race.
Light turns green. The Bill Warner Kawasaki jumps out in a hurry. That's the 54A of Bromley. Bromley's got company around the outside. Here comes Fisher. Fisher goes to work on the outside and chops down and takes the line away from Bromley. So it's Fisher, Bromley, Helmholtz, and Miner. Lap number 1 comes in the books. Davis Fisher leads them around lap number 1. That's why he's your points leader. He's very strong at every racetrack we go to.
Yes, he is. And Avery makes a draft move by Bromley in the second. Let's see if those two. Oh, Davis Fisher blows up, takes out Tristan Avery. Has an issue with his motorcycle.
Man. Avery
that was a scary moment. Nowhere.
Side of the 67F. Fisher puts it down on the inside of the guardrail. Couldn't see it back there on the back straightaway. Fisher throws his hand up, steps off the motorcycle. Avery has nowhere to go. He's
come off the corner. He's tucked in. Bike starts to tie up. He puts his hand up. I'm slowing down. He tries to dive to the inside, and Avery was committed to go to the inside and really nowhere to go. Sometimes, That's a tough call, in the case of Davis Fisher, trying to get off the racing line and out of harm's way sometimes brings harm to you. But very fortunate incident that it's not worse
for everybody.
Everybody involved here that nobody went down.
Tristan Avery, are you okay?
Yeah, just banged up my foot again and probably my leg too. But we're gonna tough it out, finish the heat race off strong.
Can you take us through quickly what happened?
Just Davis threw his hand up, and I basically had nowhere else to go, and I tried the outside, and that didn't really work, and then he started moving down, and kind of had no. I'm just glad he's okay.
Red light off, first yellow on for 5 seconds. Second yellow on, it goes from a half a second to 2.5, and then we go green.
And they're off into the first corner. Here comes GNC2 heat race number 2. It's a drag race in the first corner. Bromley will lead him in there once again, and there is Tristan Avery, the 16S.
The 16S up, riding around the outside edge of the groove. Looks like the 36 of Colby Carlisle, minor. Avery gets freight trained there coming through turns 1 and 2.
And look who's in first and second. The riders are in first and second that brought out the red flag. Here comes Charlotte Canes up the inside of Jameson Minor back there for 4th, 5th, and 6th.
And
here's
Tristan Avery marching down, runs down Fisher on this last lap. Let's see if he can line up and get a good draft.
Checkered flag in the air.
Doesn't line up quite quick enough.
Fisher takes the win. Avery, the rest of the riders across the start-finish line in a blur. Fisher takes home another heat race win.
In the GNC1 Heat 1 race, all eyes were on the number 15 of Nicole Meese. She was riding Willie McCoy's Springfield Mile winning Harley-Davidson.
Nicole Meese on the bright orange Willie McCoy special. That's like Willie McCoy won 2 miles here. Nicole Meese gets the nod. This is her last full season. She'd love to get on the podium here at Springfield. Here we go. Watch the light. It is green. Johnson off in a hurry. From the inside, Vanderkoy. Johnson's going to lead him in the first corner.
Good start from the outside there. Jake Johnson gets a good run into turn 1. Immediately puts a couple bike links with the rookie Jared Vanderkoy in tow in second. Doug Lawrence on the 73 in third.
Nicole Meese in the 4th spot. Down the back straight they go. They stand up in a hurry. Here comes Nicole Meese thinking about a 4-way draft. It's going to be Doug Lawrence, though, making a pass in the lead. Vanderkoy comes along with. Now Nicole Meese takes over the 3rd spot. So Johnson, our leader, from 1st to 4th. Down the back straightaway through 3 and 4. Doug Lawrence will lead him off of 4. Here comes Nicole Meese. She's been very strong on the inside. She shows the wheel. Vanderkoy sees her coming. He elects to move over. Nicole Meese, your leader, down the back straightaway on the 15 bike. Vanderkoy in second. Now Jake Johnson's put himself back in 3rd. Doug Lawrence right now up to the 3rd spot on the 73. It is Nicole Meese. Vanderkoy gets sideways in 3 and 4. Here comes Nicole Meese out front.
Doing a good job out front and opening up a 4-bike link advantage coming off at turn 4. She looks very comfortable, very racy. These guys are going to have to work together. They keep racing 3 wide up into 1. She's going to march off into the distance.
Here they come. Last lap down the back straightaway. What's Nicole going to do this time?
Well, it looks like she's got a good run, drafting up the inside, wants to take the point, leading off into turn 3. She gets into the point position. She wants to get through the middle.
Oh,
Jake
Johnson
getting up the inside, trying to make a pass. Johnson bucking and hopping, getting a good grip.
Here they come off of 4. Nicole Meese leads them. Can she hang on to the win? Yes, she
does.
Nicole Meese hangs on to the heat race win as the times go into the books. Nicole Meese looking for her first ever Grand National victory, and it could happen here today at the legendary Springfield Mile. Your heat race winner, the number 15, ladies and gentlemen, the racing lady Nicole Meese. There's your dad, Mark, giving her a victory hug and take off her helmet. We're going to go trackside with Danny Medine. Danny's caught up to a very fast young lady. Danny, take it away.
Thanks, you guys. Springfield Mile, get on your feet like you just were. Nicole, this whole crowd was on their feet for you. Is it a combination of a perfect bike? Is it a combination of a last season? Fill us in.
Oh man, the bike was working so good. We felt strong all day. My dad, Willie McCoy, his whole crew are working extra hard, and we want to go out with a win. So thank you guys all so much for coming out and supporting us.
Now this bike has a lot of history, so I'm going to have Willie McCoy sneak in here. What does it mean to you to have Nicole Meese ride in this machine?
What an honor to see her out there going fast like that. Harley-Davidson Wausau, they've been awesome supporters, and for Nicole to ride my bike today, I feel honored, and what a way to start the day to win the heat race. But I want to come back up here and spray champagne here in a little while.
Wow. Absolute pure domination. He is setting a mark for those in Heat 3 to chase.
There you go. 42 takes the win. Brian Smith. Here comes everybody else now lined up, coming off of 4. It's going to be a battle for 2nd and 3rd. Here they come to the finish line.
And Shoemaker as well on the Triumph gets back up into the 4th position.
Did you realize that you had such a huge lead out there?
Yeah, I thought I had a little bit of a gap, and I looked back and I had a pretty big gap, but it's just the heat race. So we still got to do our homework, and hopefully in the main event just like that.
So you had some bike issues in practice. You switched machines. Is this going to be the one that's going to take the win here today?
Yeah, this is Old Faithful that I won on last weekend in Charlotte, and hopefully we can do it again today in front of this hot Springfield crowd.
Here we go. Heat race number 3. There's the green light in a hurry. Keep your eyes on the inside. It's Meese on the outside. Is your fast qualifier, Cale Cookman. They'll take me into the first corner. Who's going to lead them?
Looks like Corey Texter up front with the number 1 of Jared Meese behind. The 69 of Sammy Halbert in 3rd.
C-Tech just sat on this motorcycle last Friday for the very first time. about 10 days ago. Now he leads the Springfield Mile. Meese in second. Third spot is the 69 of Sammy Halbert. Higgins in the fourth position. Lap number 1 going in the books around the corner. Here they come down off of turn number 4 down the front straightaway. Looks like Texter gets a little sideways coming off the corner. Here comes Meese in second. Sammy Halbert's coming with him on the 69 bike.
The 65 out front's looking pretty good. Triple wide going into turn 1. Meese goes to the front. Halbert follows suit.
White flag is out. Sammy Halbert goes to the lead into the first corner. Meese comes with him in second. Corey Texter's in third. He's about to have his hands full with Briar Bauman on the 14 and Shayna on the 25. Brother and sister. Who's going to make the main? Who's not?
Saw Meese there take a little peek back over his shoulder, say, all right, who do I got to deal with? Wants to sit here and see, do I want to follow? He elects to ease up, follows the 69 of Halbert off into the corner.
Oh.
They get through that little broken up area. Meese trying to line them up, see which way Halbert's going to go. Coming off the corner, it's going to be a run to the line. Draft pass effort coming up.
I see red light all over the place. And where's the red flag? Briar Bauman is on the ground on the 14 bike.
Going off into turn 3. Looks like we had an incident there.
I see pieces all the way back there. That's his Saddleman seat back there laying in the dirt. But man, Briar going down. We missed it. They were going to be coming towards the checkered flag, and that bike is mangled.
In the main event, it was business as usual with a large group of riders swapping positions for the lead. Eventually, it was down to only 4 riders with Jake Johnson leading the pack. Brian Smith went on to win his second Springfield Mile this season with a slingshot move to the outside to take the win.
Some awesome footage right there from earlier this year, including the Springfield Mile, the last national. All kinds of cool stuff happening here at the Roar on the Shore. Remember, hit us up on Twitter. Tweet to win a Cortec gift card for a tank bag valued up to $180. Use the hashtag DelawareFT. FT for Flat Track. Jodis Maximus, JL Grossis. Tune in AMA Pro Flat Track on Fans Choice TV for the Delaware FT.
We got Sarah Varn saying, loving to see all our D6 boys